All right, so I am so excited about this. We are just gonna chat a little bit together, and I have some things that I want to talk about. But we have so many brand new distributors, so I don't want to just assume that all of you know my story. So I'm just gonna do a super lightning fast version of my story, and then we're gonna jump in. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Morgan. And I joined this business 5.5 years ago almost. And I was a broke college student when I got started. I was 20 years old. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I was super I didn't really have a passion or didn't really know what my purpose was. And so I struggled a lot with that. And I found this business just through Instagram, and I saw a girl posting about the products, and I was like, that's fake. And I thought they were photoshopped, and I totally didn't believe that it was true. I never thought that they would work, especially not on me. And so I just became so like unconfident in who I was. I gained a lot of weight from a just heart condition that I found out about a couple months before that. And so I thought that if this stuff can help me feel more confident, then even if it's fake, I'm in. So I tried it, and I was pleasantly surprised at my results. I absolutely loved my results from the products. I was so excited to tell people about them. And then I saw that the girl that was actually like, she sold me the products, I saw that she was making as much money from her phone while she was in school as I was as a full-time nanny watching 3 kids 40 hours a week. And so I never really looked at that and thought, if she can do that, then so can I. It was more of like, if she can make that much, then I could just make $100 a month. I had no experience. I had no idea what I was doing. I was super busy. If you're a college student, drop a 1 in the chat. You're like, yes, amen. If you're a mom, drop a 1 in the chat. If you are somebody with a full-time job, drop a 1 in the chat, because you're like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Busy, that's me, because that was me whenever I joined. Some of y'all look at me now and you think, this is why she's here. It's because she has so much time on her hands. I have this time because I was consistent when I didn't have time. I didn't wait to have time to get started, and I sure as heck did not wait till I had time to get going and get to like actually take off with this business. And so I was busy. I had no money to get started. I had just moved across the country from Mississippi to Michigan, where I live now. And I didn't know anybody here, and so I had every reason not to join, but I turned those around to reasons why I needed to do this. I knew that I was sick of not having time. I was sick of not having money. I was sick of not being able to do things I wanted to do. And so I said yes. I had no clue what I was doing, but I decided to just jump in and get excited. And so because of this business, we have been able to do everything that we could never have imagined. We've been able to pay for the gas money I joined for. We were able to buy groceries, do those little things, and it was so crazy, like just so crazy and incredible, and just was life-changing at the time. Now we've been able to pay off over $100,000 in debt. We've earned over $167,000 in bonuses. We've built our dream home. We paid for our Tahoe in cash last year. We've been able to pay cash for college, cash for our wedding, cash for our honeymoon. And it's just because of this business. And my husband now doesn't have to work a job either. He just chooses to do things that he's passionate about, and he gets to chase his passions instead of chasing a paycheck. And that's what this business has done for us. And it's brought us all of you. It's brought us our closest friends. It's just brought so much blessing in our team and in our lives and to our family. So we're just super forever grateful for It Works and for saying yes to this company. So we're so excited, and I am so pumped about this Zoom tonight and just kind of chatting with y'all about some different stuff. So I wanted to talk, it's going to be a little all over the place just because I have some random kind of thoughts and things that I want to talk to y'all about, especially going into the end of the month. And so let's talk about fears, because I posted yesterday in the team page and some of you answered, and I just said, what are your biggest fears in this business? Drop them below and then leave them here. Don't pick them back up tomorrow because they don't help you. And so right now we're going to talk about some fears and some self-limiting beliefs that we're going to put off today, and we're not going to pick them back up because they don't serve us. And we are going to start eliminating these thoughts, or at least recognizing them, so that we can combat them with the truth. Because if they don't serve you, they should not be at the forefront of your mind. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of these. And as I talk about this, would you just be willing to, just so that I know kind of who is struggling with what and kind of who is like, yes, that's me, like that fear, that's exactly what I feel every single day, because I know these are really common and a lot of you probably struggle with this too. So maybe drop like a little comment in the chat and be like, yes, that one was me, like, yes, that's me. Okay, so somebody posted this. I'm just going to read them down the list. Being judged, or people thinking this is a pyramid scheme, or that I'm just trying to make money off of them. Drop some comments if that's you. Somebody, or that I will not, or that nothing will come of this, and that I'm silly for trying. This is somebody who has joined this business before, and this is their second time in the business, which is so exciting. And so she said, people might think of her. She failed once, so she'll probably fail again. And she's scared that that's something that people are thinking of her. Letting her team down. This is another one. Letting other people's negative comments get to me. Getting complacent and too comfortable, or that I'm not moving up after I get so far. Just getting complacent. Anybody for that one? Not signing as many DTs, or all of a sudden what I'm doing won't work for me. Letting my team down and not being the best leader that I need to be for them. Feeling like I'm not good enough. Anybody ever feel like you're not good enough? Feel like you're not worthy? That's for sure me. Feel like you're not smart enough. Feel like you're not a good leader. Feel like I'm never going to be where I want to be, or ever be able to really help my family financially. These are some heavy stuff, guys. I'm so proud of y'all for just being so open and vulnerable with this. Feeling unworthy. We talked about that a little bit. Fear of unworthiness. Put some ones in the chat if you're like, yep, I'm feeling unworthy. It's a fear that I have. Okay. Fear of not succeeding. Fear of letting my team down. Not doing enough. Some of y'all are saying yes, 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 yes to all of them, because you're like, yes, I feel this to my core. You have a lot of fears, and that's okay. That's good that you're being vulnerable and that you're speaking those out, because then they lose their power whenever you speak them. People think like, well, you can't say what you're afraid of, because then you're like speaking that over yourself. You're not speaking it over yourself. When you talk about your fears and you call out the lie for what it is, you become stronger every single time, because you're calling it a lie. And so the more that you can state your fear and recognize your fear and call it out for what it is, which is just a bold-faced lie from the pit of hell, then you know that every single time you hear that, you're like, flick, not listening to that. That thought is not serving me. I'm not going to listen to it. And you don't even let it just sit there, and you don't wallow in it anymore, because you just flick it off. You're like, nope, I'm not doing that. That's not true of me. I am unworthy. Nope, not true. So you just start flicking it off. So I'm so proud of y'all for writing this down and for speaking it in the chat too. Not doing enough, not being able to help my team, not being used to my full potential, fear of not making enough money, not enough money to do this full time, and everyone else watching her and saying, I told you so, fear of letting my team down, fear of not being good enough, fear of letting my family down, not being a good enough leader, feeling like I could never be a top leader, not becoming a top leader and fulfilling my potential, wasting my time, not making a full-time income or not a stable income, not being a good enough leader, or holding her team back, not worthy, fear of failing, not getting where I want, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of people being right, fear of who I will become, fear of being left behind, not being able to be successful, not letting my team down. I'm not good enough at this. I won't make as much money as everyone else. I won't be able to make a stable income off of this. Everyone thinking this is a pyramid scheme. Having the I told you so thrown back in my face that this doesn't work. Fear that I'll never be good enough at the top like I dream for myself. Fear that if I do get to the top, everything will crumble around me. Fear that I'll never be able to leave my job and bring my husband home. Anybody else feel that one? Trying to bring your husband home and scared that you aren't going to be able to? Not being the leader that my team needs, fear that nobody wants this as bad as I do, not being good enough, having to hear I told you so, fear I won't make a full-time income, not being good enough leader, this isn't God's plan for me, not a fear, but Lord of struggle. I don't have full support in my home life, so I don't want to prove them right. So basically proving her family wrong and being scared she won't be able to. Don't deserve it, not good enough, or being a terrible leader. Okay, so did anybody put a 1 in the chat if you just related to any single one thing that I said? One or more things where you were like, yep, that was me. Yep. I'll put a 1 too, because I related to one or all of those things. Okay, so now we're going to chat. because there's a couple of those that as I was reading them, I was like, but I just want to tell you this. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple of those, and then we're going to move on to the next things that have some other little self-limiting beliefs I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to go through this list again. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to pick out a couple of them, and I'm just going to talk to you about this because, number one, I want you to realize you are not alone. If you don't get anything else from this Zoom, I want you to understand that you're not alone. Do you hear all of these fears? Did you hear me repeat some of them like 15 times because everyone had the same fear? Did you see the chat blowing up because everyone was like, oh, I think that too. Oh my gosh, I'm scared of that too. Oh my gosh, that's my fear. Yes, that's me. Did y'all see that? Like, you're not alone. You're not the only one that feels this way, and there's power in that because the enemy loves to make you feel isolated. If he can get you to feel like you're the only one struggling with this, he has so much power over you. But when you realize that you are surrounded by people who have the same goals as you, who are combating the same fears on a daily basis, you feel a little bit more empowered, don't you? Drop a 2 if you're like, that makes me feel so much better. To know that I'm just not alone, that I'm not the only one who wakes up and struggles with this, and this. Because here's the thing, guys, what I also want you to realize, number 2, is that this business isn't really where these fears stem from. And I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute, because some people are like, well, I have so many fears revolving around this business. This business is not the reason for them. It's just bringing a lot of them to light because of the situation that we're in. Some of you are in a leadership position in this business. If you have a distributor underneath you, you are considered a leader. And if you're not, you're a soon-to-be leader because you're going to have some distributors on your team. So if you have a distributor, you're going to have distributors, you're going to be put in a leadership role. And so then that's where the fear comes in of like, well, what if I let my team down? But if you didn't have this business, you'd still be scared that you'd let your kids down, or that you'd let your mom down, or that you'd let your husband down, or your wife down. And so I don't want you to think that like, oh my gosh, because I have all these fears in this business, if I just get rid of this business, I'll fix all my fears. They're rooted in something so much deeper than this business. So I need you to understand that this is just bringing them to light, and now we can fix them. We can deal with them, and we can address them, and we can become who God created us to be, because that is the definition of a leader, is empowering other people to become who God enabled and created them to be. So if you're scared that you're not going to be a good enough leader, ask yourself, am I helping this person become a better human? And if you are, it doesn't matter if they go Ambassador Diamond or if they join and then they quit. Did you do what you could to make them a better human? If you did, then you've succeeded at being a leader. Or if you tried, you attempted at that, then you have been a good leader. Does that make sense? Takes the pressure off of yourself when you realize what a real leader is. You stop worrying about if you're going to fail as a leader, but I have those same fears too. So we're going to talk about some of these. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, one of them right here is letting my team down. So I was going to talk to you about this anyway, so I'll just talk to you about it now. That is a fear that I struggle with. And I want to just be, like I said on the graphic, I was like, I'm gonna be real and vulnerable with y'all tonight. So this is it. Like, I firmly believe in being honest, open, and transparent as a leader, as a friend, as a human with all of you. So I want that same thing back. And that's what I appreciate about the vulnerability that you had in that post, and just tonight so far, just like saying, yeah, that's me, and just admitting these things and owning these things. And this is my turn to do that too. I struggle so bad with worrying about if I'm going to let you down. I struggle with that on a daily basis because all of you mean so much to me. And I want the best for obviously my family and I, but not only for that, but just like for you and for your family, and like getting to know you and seeing like the things, like I'm going to get emotional, and I never get emotional, but I just deeply care about y'all. I know your family lives. I know so many of you personally. I know your struggles. We've hung out together. We've gone on trips together. And what you want to do with this business and in life matters to me. And I put so much pressure on myself to help you get there that I'm scared that I'm going to let you down. And I'm scared that in my own business, that if I'm not doing this, and this, in this way that you're going to be like, oh, is she actually a good leader? And it's not really that I care about your opinion of me. I mean, I do, but I also just don't want to let you down and be like that leader. You know, like I want to be somebody who you look at and that you're proud of. And I want you to look at, you know, to see me as somebody that pushes you to be better. And so I have this such high standard set for myself of what I expect of me. And I assume that all of you expect that of me too. But in reality, none of you are really thinking that often. Let's just be real. Nobody is thinking about you as often as you think about you. And I'm not saying because you're not important, but it's just the reality. We're all selfish people. So for me to sit here and think like, oh my gosh, they're going to think this about me. They're going to think this about me. Y'all are not actually thinking about me that often, you know? And so if you're somebody who struggles with feeling like you're going to let people down, they're actually not thinking about you that much. And I don't mean that, like I said, in a negative way or that you're not important whatsoever. But I mean, you don't think about this certain person in your, like, every single day. And I understand like close family and stuff, but if something that you do in this business truly lets them down that much, I just don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that like you not signing an LC today or hitting a promotion a month after you wanted to hit it, I don't think that your husband's going to be like, wow, really let me down there, kiddo. Should have promoted last month. Like I just don't really see that happening. So much of this pressure is something that we're putting on ourselves. So I just want you to realize that, because I do the same thing. Okay, move on to the next thing. And some of these guys are a choice. And so this is a fear, but it's a choice. So if you don't want it to happen, don't choose it. For one, it says getting complacent and getting comfortable to the point where she won't move forward once she gets to a certain position. You choose that every day. And when you daily choose to dream bigger and to look at your team and to say, this isn't about me, this is about them, that complacency won't set in, but it starts whenever you stop dreaming really big. So if you don't want to get complacent, keep dreaming and choose not to get complacent, and you won't. So some of this stuff can be avoided just by a simple action that you take. So some of this stuff doesn't happen to you, it's just a decision. So I don't want you to think that this is just like all out of your hands and you just hope that it just works out. You have control over this at some point. Okay, let's see. Not good enough, not smart enough, not a good leader. A lot of this just comes from being confident in who you are. And that just grows from self-development too, honestly. Just becoming a better human, a better version of yourself. So self-development, if you're brand new or you're newer to this business, you're not really sure what self-development is. It can be a lot of different things. For me, what I do is I listen to an Audible book, or I listen to podcasts that are about, you know, like money mindsets, or written by people who are network marketers or business owners. And I listen to that, and I about leadership and different topics like that. If you want some book recommendations, go to your enroller or go to your upline, or you can even, ask in the team chats and things like that what some books are, and we'll all recommend some books for you to get started. But that's where that just growth and confidence comes from. Who you see now on this Zoom is not who I was 5.5 years ago. If you go stalk my YouTube channel, you will be dumbfounded at what I used to sound like on YouTube videos. And I kind of want to, actually, I'm going to get it out for you really quick, because I need you to know, like, you feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not confident enough, and you're not good enough to be a top leader. You'll never be a top leader. Those were some of the things that people were saying that they were afraid of. And the truth is that who you are now is not a top leader, but it's about who you're going to become. Because if you were at this point in your life, if you at this level of self that you're at, if this was like able to, or at the level to become a top leader, you would be there. But you're not, and that's okay. And so you're going to grow yourself and you're going to get to that level. Does that make sense? Because who I was in these videos I'm about to show you is not who I am today. Because that back then I wasn't a top leader, but you grow into that. I didn't start this business being like this and being comfortable in talking in front of people, or starting with Zooms with, 75 to 100 people on them every single week. It was 3 people. And we did it on Google Hangouts because it was old and it was a long time ago. And this was me 4 years ago. I was a Ruby going diamond, or maybe I had just gone diamond. But watch this. Like, I want you to see the growth that I've had as a person, because you're going to have that too. So don't think that this person that you are right now has to be top leader level. You're not going to be. You're going to grow into that. And so it's who you're going to become. So remember that.
So I'm start making up more. Hey y'all, it's Morgan. I just wanted to make a video real quick to train y'all a little bit and teach y'all some different things. And I'm going to start doing these videos a little bit more often than I have been. I've been slacking a lot on these training type things. I'm going to start making them more often.
Different human. Like, and there's so many more videos like that. And it makes me so proud to look back and think like, man, that's not who I am anymore. Like, I have grown into this, okay? So you are worthy where you're at, but who you are going to become is going to be the things that are going to take you to where you want to go. Yeah, we're a lot more makeup back then. Okay, so let's see. I'm just trying to go through some of these that I was going to talk about too. A lot of people talked about not being able to make a steady income or a full-time income. And so the biggest thing that I would say to that is to write it down until you believe it. Just keep saying it to yourself. Every single day I write down, I make $60,000 a month easily and effortlessly. Do I truly believe that that can happen? I do now because I've written it so much, but I didn't before. I didn't just like start this business and believe that I could make $60,000 a month. I didn't even believe that I could really make $60 a month. Let's be honest. Like, I didn't think I could get there. So whenever you see these people making $20,000 a month, don't worry about that yet. That's not where your head is at yet. Why don't we start with $2,000 a month? Because that would replace your full-time income. So let's start with $2,000 a month. And I want you to write that down until you believe it. I want you to visualize that every single day until you believe it. I want you to ask people for their paychecks and pictures. Like, I'm sure your enrollers or your leaders have pictures of $2,000 checks if that's your goal, and print that sucker out and stick it up on your bulletin board. I know Jenna asked me for my first double diamond paycheck, just a screenshot of it, and she wants to go double. And so she's printed it off and she has it on her bulletin board in her room because she wants to visualize that that's possible. On my desktop right here on my background, it says Millionaire, 60K a month, and top 10. Am I any of those things right now? No. Do I believe that they can happen? I visualized it enough that yes, I can. But a couple of months ago, I would have said, no, I don't actually believe it. I want it, but I don't believe that it can happen. But you have to keep just saying it over and over again, visualizing it over and over again, because if you can't believe that it can happen for you, it won't. So you have to have that belief. And if you don't have the belief for now, borrow my belief until you keep visualizing it over and over again and gain that belief for yourself. But you can make a full-time income with this because I've been able to do that. And there's nothing that I have inside of me that you don't have inside of you. So let's see if there's any more really quick. Somebody talked about like not promoting fast enough. Be careful that your fears are not based in comparison. Because what is fast enough? What is, like, speed is relative. If you're promoting in this business, and I always talk about this, if you're sitting in a closed room by yourself and you were somehow able to work this business without any outside contact, no social media, and you were promoting in this business, you would not know if you were going fast or slow. You'd have no idea. You're just going. You're just moving forward. But if you're watching yourself and you're like, well, I'm not promoting fast enough, that means that you're looking to someone else to determine what that rate should be and that you're falling short of it. And I've done that myself. Whenever I first joined this business, especially, I watched people who joined before and after me hit diamond, and I was just hitting ruby. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can I not hit this promotion? I'm not promoting fast enough. And I almost quit as a Ruby before I even hit Diamond because I wasn't promoting fast enough. What does that even mean? I got caught in the trap of comparison and it almost made me quit, and I would have missed out on every single bit of this, and I never would have met any single one of you because I didn't know any of you when I was a Ruby. I would have missed out on this blessing because I got so caught up in the trap of comparison. And that can lead to fear because comparison is a thief of joy. That's a Bible verse in the Bible. So you know it's true. So if comparison is a thief of joy, why would we allow ourselves to compare? Notice those comparison thoughts. I'm not going fast enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not worthy enough. What does that even look like? What does that mean? What is the level of worthiness? What level are you at, and what level are you supposed to be at? Like, it's relative, and you're no better or worse than anybody else. And that's the same for the number one income earners and you. You both have the exact same gifts and talents that you can use to reach people that you can reach that Stephanie and Joel could never reach. Or you're going to be able to reach a group of people that I could never reach out to because of your story and who you are. So who cares if you're going fast enough? Just focus on promoting and progressing. And we're going to talk in a second about what the true goal is. But let's move on. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay. So let's talk about some other self-limiting beliefs. And while we're talking about this, we talked a lot about belief and doubt and fear, but it takes the exact same amount of energy to doubt as it does to believe in yourself. So if you're going to have this energy built up and you're going to spend it somewhere, you may as well spend it on believing in yourself just a little bit. Stay close to the fire. That's also going to grow your belief. It's also going to grow you as a person, because so many of you, we talked about self-development, so many of you aren't doing self-development, and you're eating once a week. You get on these Zooms and you hope that lasts you all week long. What if you just ate food on Monday nights? Would you be hungry by Thursday? Would you be starving by Friday? You would be falling out by Sunday. That's how so many of you are in this business right now, mentally, emotionally. You are exhausted by Thursday. You're annoyed and frustrated by Friday. And by Sunday, you're just ready to quit because you're only feeding yourselves on Mondays. You're not doing any self-development on your own in the next days. Self-development is key. Stay close to the fire. That means stay plugged in the team chats. Stay plugged in on the team pages. Get on the family calls on Sunday nights. These are things that you can do while you wash dishes. So there's really no reason that you can't do these things. Stay close to the fire. Go look at the events.itworks.com. Go get to events that stay close to the fire. That's going to grow your belief. You want to learn how to overcome all of these fears? Stay close to the fire. Grow belief in yourself by being around people who believe in you. So many of you said stuff about your family not believing in you, or so many people saying, "Hi, I told you so." Why don't you stop getting around the people who said, "I told you so" Monday through Friday, and get around some people who actually believe in you Monday through Friday, and notice how the belief in yourself starts to shift because that you're surrounding yourselves with people that you want to be more like. You are like the 5 most people that you spend the most time with. If you're spending time with people who have a broke mentality, who don't care about you truly because they're sitting here bashing what you do, so they're not a true friend, and then you wonder why you're so defeated all the time, you wonder why you're constantly discouraged, you wonder why you can never get ahead, look at your friend circle. I'm getting ahead of myself because that was like one of my bullet points coming up. But we'll talk about that in a second. And maybe that's your husband. Maybe that's your, family, like your close family, and you can't not be around them. Be very, very careful what goals and dreams you tell them. They don't have to know every single goal that you have. They don't have to know anything about you wanting to replace your full-time income, because if you're not careful, you're going to sow that seed of that dream into somebody who is going to take it and snatch it up. They're not going to water that seed and tell you, you know what, you can do that. Go after that goal, girl. You got that. That's what you're going to find when you get to events. That's what you're going to find when you get on Zooms. That's what you're going to find whenever you go into our team chats. But then you go to your family reunion or you go to your mom's house for the weekend and she's like, that stuff is stupid. Oh my gosh, that stuff is a pyramid scheme. I can't believe you sell that crap. Oh my gosh, whatever. And like throwing all this crap at you because you told her all of your goals and all of your dreams. Be very careful who you share that stuff with. If your husband or wife is not supportive, don't be open and share those things with them. Share them with us because we're going to encourage you to do it, and just let all that rest of that stuff be a secret and show them after you do it. Show them after and be like, hey, guess what I just did? And they can't say nothing about that. You already did it. They can't say, oh, well, you're not going to be able to pay off your car. You're like, I literally just did. So they're not going to be able to say anything about it anymore. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. So let's talk about things that are going to hold you back from where you want to be. There's 5 things. So poor money mindset. If you're taking notes, jot this down. So a couple things that are going to hold you back from getting to where you want to be. Now, let's identify really quick, where do we want to be? Because we're going to talk about things that are holding us back from where we want to be, but if we've never identified where that place is, we don't even know all of the amazing goodness that we're holding ourselves back from, so it's not really that heavy. But when you realize that staying at home with your babies and paying off all of your debt is where you want to be, and then you realize that these 5 things are holding you back from that, you will jump through fiery hoops to get to it because you know that it's worth it to you. So I want you right now, on your phone, on a napkin, on your hand, on your wrist, on a piece of paper, on your phone, I don't care, write down right now, what are you running to? Where are you headed in this business? And do not write Ruby. For the love of everything that is good. Do not write Ruby, do not write Diamond, because those are great goals, but why? Why do you want a $15,000 bonus? Why are you going double? What are you going to? Why do you want this for yourself so badly that you're willing to get on a Zoom for an hour on a Monday night to listen to tips of how to get there? What do you want? And some of you are going to start writing something and you're going to stop because you're thinking, nope, I can't write that yet. That's too big. It's too big for where I'm at right now. Write it down. Write it anyways. Don't you dare pick that pen up and decide that you're not going to write something that your heart is set on. Write it the heck down, because you are not here to tell God what he can and cannot do, because he is a big God that can do absolutely exceedingly abundantly more than anything you could ever ask or think. So write that goal down and let him get the glory for helping you get that goal done. And you look and you're like, there's no way I could have done that. That's the kind of goals that he wants you to get, that to set. That's the kind of things that he wants you to think about and to pray about, because then he gets the glory from that. So I want you to write down absolutely anything that you want. When you have that, I want you to jot these bullet points down. There are 5 things that are going to keep you from getting to that thing. And if you don't know what it is yet, jot it down some more after the Zoom. Poor money mindset. A poor money mindset will keep you from getting where you want to be. There's a scarcity mindset, and then there's an abundant mindset. Most of us, I'd be willing to bet, because I do include it, I have a scarcity mindset still, and I'm working towards an abundance mindset. But it's hard. It's a struggle because we don't ever grow up around a society that teaches us to live abundantly or to have abundance or to shoot for abundance, or that abundance is a good thing. They say that it's bad, that money is bad, money is the root of all evil, and just all of this crap, because the love of money is the root of all evil, not money. And money is good in the hands of those who are good people. We are generous with our money, so it's good that we're rich. And we, like, there's a huge amount of money in the world anyways, and it's literally can be printed off like that. Like, there's no lack of money in the world, especially in this country, but somebody's gonna have that money. Why not let it be you? And people will say, oh my gosh, well, if I have money, then I'm going to be a bad person because rich people are greedy. No, money makes you more of who you already are. So if you're a greedy person, you're going to be really greedy whenever you become rich. But if you're a generous person, how much more generous can you be when your pockets are full instead of asking other people for money and having to live off food stamps? It's really hard to give people food and to help people when you can't hardly help yourself. So when you become generous, or whenever you become abundant, you're able to give more lavishly to help other people in need. So let's talk about scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity mindset, either way, I talked a little bit about this on another Zoom that we did, but with scarcity mindset, you either want to spend all of your money or you want to save it to the point of hoarding all of your money. If you would be brave enough, because we just been open, honest, and transparent all up in this Zoom tonight. So go ahead and jot down in the chat if you're willing to say, are you a spender or are you a hoarder of money? Do you hoard it or do you spend it? Because there's two types of people, and both of them, and I'm going to explain why, come from a scarcity mindset. Because scarcity says that, okay, most of you are spenders. So if you are a spender and you're like it's like bad, like there's good spending, because it's okay to spend money and it's good to save money. But if you have an unhealthy tendency to one or the other, that's where the scarcity mindset comes in. Because if you're a spender, it's because you're scared that money is not going to be there tomorrow, so you need to hurry up and spend it today. Or that you're never going to get this amount of money again, so you need to hurry up and spend it because there's not enough left. There's never going to be this much again. So you spend it really quick and you get it out as soon as you get it. Your income container is this small. And your income container is the amount of money that you take in that you're able to keep. And as you grow your mindset, especially listening to Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, that's a really good book that I absolutely love. Carly mentioned it earlier in here. Carly, if you're still listening, will you drop that in the comments for people so they can write that down? If you are not listening to a self-development book, this would be a really great place to start. It's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. It's literally amazing. But it talks about this money mindset. It talks about income container. So if you're a hoarder of money, it's because you're scared that you're never going to get that money back. You're scared that you're never going to be able to get that money again. And you need to hurry up and just hoard all of it. You don't want to give any money away. You don't want to spend any money. You don't want to buy that cup of coffee because you don't know when you're going to get that $5 back. And if that's you, it's because you're scared that the money is so lacking that you won't have it anymore. You'll never be able to make that much more. Your bank account will never be that big again. And so you just hoard it all or you spend it all. So I want you to think about where that came from. Where did that mentality start? How did you grow up? What was your childhood like? And think about how that could maybe influence how you spend or save money now. Maybe your parents didn't have any money growing up. And so you spend because you never got to go on vacations before. And so you get a little bit of money and you want to go do all the things because you never got to. Or maybe your parents didn't have money growing up. And so you don't spend any money because you've never seen that much before, and you hoard it because you think that money is going to vanish. It's going to go away. You've never had that before. So if you have it now, you can never get it back. There's so many different things that can happen in your childhood that can form the way that you feel and think about money. But if you can identify that, you can combat it with the truth that money is abundant. These are some of my affirmations that I write down in the morning regarding money. I say I attract money and wealth easily and effortlessly. Money flows freely to me. I'm a money magnet. I make $60,000 a month easily and effortlessly. I talk about I live and play in a space of abundance and excess. I write all these things down because it's been so hard for me to truly believe that money is good and that money isn't scarce. Because whenever I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. We were very just middle class. We weren't broke. We weren't on food stamps or anything like that. But we did certain things. And then my mom, I'd ask my mom for a little bit of money and she would say, well, we just don't have it. And, so it's hard because she's also very much a saver. So it's hard for me to know, did we really not have it? Or did she just hoard it all? I don't know. But then my dad is very much a spender. And now there's Amazon. And so then now he's much more of a spender. Literally he's on Amazon every day. But anyway, so we started making a lot of money, 1 year. And he and my mom, we ended up that year putting in an in-ground pool in the backyard of our brand new 4,000 square foot house. My mom got a car. I got a car the same day. I was 16 or 17. And we took a trip for a family of 4 to Hawaii for 7 days. And within 2 years, my parents were both had filed for bankruptcy, divorced, and me and my mom and my brother lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. So when I think about money, I think, oh, wow, it's coming in. That's so great. When am I going to lose it? At what point is this going to drive my family apart? At what point is this money going to no longer be there? It's not going to come in anymore because my dad lost his job and that's kind of where it all started. So at what point is that going to happen to me? And so that has formed the way that I feel about money right now. And so I'm either very much a hoarder or very much a spender, depending on the time of year it is, or depending on like, it's crazy. Like I go back and forth on what I do because of the way that I grew up. And so how do the people that you spend the most time with, how do they view money? Did they view it as scarce? Did they view it as, oh, just spend it, it's fine? Steph said that her mom was a huge spender. She's around her mom a lot, then she's probably going to hear like, oh, just spend it, just buy it. Oh my gosh, it's fine, just buy it. So if you're not careful, the people that you're around can influence you negatively when it comes to money. So you need to be aware of that so that you can guard yourself against the way that they view money. You don't have to try to correct them. You don't have to try to teach them, unless it's like maybe your husband, then you would want to get on the same page. But you don't have to try to teach them, but you just need to know, like whenever I hear my mom say certain things like, oh, well, I just don't have money for that. Or, oh, that's expensive. I don't use the word expensive because that is a scarcity word. Nothing is expensive. It's just an investment. That's a larger investment than this is. This is more of an investment. That's what it is. It's not expensive. It's not more expensive. It's not cheap. It's not. And my mom is so frugal. So when she starts to say these things, I'm like, nope, flick it out. That's not true. Nope, that's not true for me. That's not true for me. And so I have to guard myself around that so that I don't buy into the lies that she believes regarding money. Okay, so poor money mindset is going to keep you from getting to where you want to be, which you already wrote down. So look at that thing again. Where do you want to be? Read it real quick. And this is something else that can keep you from getting there. It's your circle of friends or your influence. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this because I kind of already touched on it before, but who you spend time with Monday through Friday, or maybe even just on the weekends. Maybe you just go out clubbing on the weekends with some people who do not help you to elevate yourself, to be a better human. Who you surround yourself with matters so dang much. And that's why I love surrounding myself with people in this business. If you notice the top earners in this business, who are they friends with? Each other. There's a reason for that. It's because we want to get around people who have the same mentality as us, the same, and it's not because we're shutting other people out or because they're not as good as us or anything like that. It just is because when you start to see certain things a certain way and you start to see the goals that you have for yourself, you start to envision bigger and dream bigger, and you're playing bigger instead of playing small and just doing the bare minimum that everyone's telling you is okay. When you start really living out your purpose that God's put you on this earth for, you start to gravitate towards people who do the same thing. It's just like whenever you're playing softball, you hung out with people who played softball. Before you were a mom, you never really hung out around moms, but now that you're a mom, a lot of your friends are moms. Isn't that weird? When you start becoming a person who is living out their purpose, they're working on themselves, they're bettering themselves, guess who you're going to start hanging out with? You're not going to hang around broke people who, and whenever I say broke, I'm not talking about a bank account. I'm not saying they have to have $10,000. I'm saying broke mindset. Broke is a mindset. It's people that don't want to look for a solution. They think that that everything is happening to them instead of for them. They don't want to look for a way out. They don't think that they have any control over what's happening. That's a broke mentality. And so I don't surround myself with people like that because that's not where I want to be and that's not who I want to be. And I know that who I'm around makes a difference. The third thing that will stop you from being where you want to be is self-development and a lack of self-development. If you are not developing yourself, you're going to hold yourself back so much. And I'm just going to do a quick illustration, and this is going to be the end of that point. So really quick, when you are starting this business, you're at a level 1. You're a level 1 person with this mentality that a level 2 problem, like maybe somebody telling you no. Or maybe somebody doesn't message you back. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had somebody say no to you or not message you back. I'll put a 1 because I definitely have had that happen. Oh, sorry, it's not working. Okay, so I've had somebody not message me back, okay? But whenever I first started, that was a big deal. If you're brand new and you're like, oh my gosh, like nobody messaged me back, or oh my gosh, I'm about to start messaging and I'm so nervous, it's a big deal to you because you're at a level 1. And somebody says no to you and that's a level 2 problem. And now you're looking up at that problem thinking that it's so big. But then you grow yourself and you're listening to self-development and you're surrounding yourself with positive people, and now you're at a level 2. And that level 2 problem is dead eye level at you, and it's not really that big of a deal. You're like, I see it, but I can take it. And it's not a big deal. So people keep telling you no. But then you grow yourself and now, oh my gosh, you're a level 5 person. And somebody tells you no and it's a level 2 problem. You don't even see it as a problem anymore. You just move on. When you can't get to the point where you just move on, when team members quit, when you miss the promotion that you set out for yourself, when people tell you no, you're never going to get where you want to be. You have to level up yourself and become the better version of who you are. You're not trying to become somebody different. You're trying to be the best version of you that you can be because you have so much to offer. The 4th one is a bad focus or a lack of clear vision. So I'm going to repeat that. The 4th thing that can hold you back from being where you want to be is bad focus or a lack of clear vision. In my little, I have 6 squares right now, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of you out of 6 that have glasses on. So if you took your glasses off, would you be able to see very well? Maybe they're reading glasses or blue light glasses, but a lot of you are like, no, dude, I wouldn't be able to see my hand right here. Imagine your mind that way. If you have glasses, this is going to be a very clear picture for you, but for somebody like me with 20/20 vision, it's hard to realize that. But maybe you put somebody's glasses on before and you have good vision and you were like, oh my gosh, I can't see anything. Think about that. Whenever you are not doing self-development, or whenever you have a bad focus, that's what that seems like in your mind. Like you can't see where you're going. You literally will trip over everything in front of you. Yeah? You start tripping over stuff because you can't see it in front of you. You don't have any vision. So you have a bad vision, small vision. Sometimes I talk about the straw thing, and I don't know where this came from, but I always talk about this straw analogy. And sometimes you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, this problem is so big. Like, oh my gosh, like this thing happened and it's just the biggest, worst thing ever. But it's because you're looking at that problem through a straw. If you were to look through a straw, what could you see? Like this much in front of you, right? You can't see anything around you. You can't see anything. But except for the exact thing that you're focused on at that moment. When you have a lack of vision or you have bad focus, it's like looking through a straw. You're focused, like you see this problem and you're so focused on it that you can't even see anything else. You don't see the bigger picture. You hear that one no, but you forget that there's 7 billion people in the world. You hear that one no, but you forgot that you just enrolled another customer. Somebody else that was supposed to sign as a distributor, they don't, but then you sign up somebody else and they're like so much more amazing at this business than the other person would have been because they would have just quit. But you only are choosing to see the problem instead of looking for the solution that's all around the problem. So you have to have a clear vision and you have to have like the good focus and the clear vision, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to get to where you want to be because you don't know where that is. That's why I started by saying, what is it that you want? Because if you don't know what you want, you can't see in front of you. You have no idea where you're going and you're tripping on everything along the way because you just can't see in front of you. But when you have a vision and you know what you want, it's like tunnel vision, baby. You don't see anything else. You're just like, let's go. And I don't care, come hell or high water, I'm going to hit that promotion because this is what I'm shooting for. And I know what it means to me. And I know that it's worth it. And the very last one is belief. We've talked a lot about belief. That's why we started with the fears. You have to knock those fears out. And it's not going to be today. And it's not going to just be one time. It's going to be a constant daily thing where you bring those fears up and you bring them to the light. Write them suckers down and be like, that is a lie. Lies. with an underline, and then write down every freaking fear that you hear in your head that says, I'm not worthy. I can never be a good leader. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm going to let my team down. I'm going to let my family down. People think that this is stupid. I'm going to prove people right whenever they say I told you so. Write that stuff down. Eliminate the power that the fears have over you. Believe in yourself for 2 hot seconds and see where that takes you, because I guarantee it's going to take you beyond where you're at right now, because for so long those fears have held you back that you didn't even have the belief in yourself that you're about to have. So step into that right now. Start fighting and combating those fears so that you can live the abundant life that God's called you to. He did not call you to live a scarce life of fear. He called you to live life and life abundantly. He said, I came. Jesus said, I came to give you life and life abundantly. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to take him up on it? Or are you just going to say, no, I'm just going to live scared and live in fear and just let that hold me back? You're worth too much to do that. So the last thing I want to leave you with is to remember that as much as we're shooting for the promotions, we want the bonuses, we want the promotions, go after them, run after them as hard as you possibly stinking can, because you're so worth it. But you need to know that the goal is not the promotion. The goal is who you become along the way. Because when you reach that promotion, it's going to feel real good for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to be like, all right, now what's next? But the true gift and the true goal is when you look back and you're like, I love who I became when I was going diamond. I love the leader that I became. I love the grit that I proved to myself that I had when I went diamond. I love my consistency. I've never been consistent at anything in my life, but I was when I went diamond. And that consistency just proved that I have a whole other side to myself that I never knew I had. And I love who I became when I went diamond. Do you see the difference? And if your goal is to become a better human as you continue to progress in this business, you're not going to get bogged down with, oh my gosh, well, I didn't hit my promotion on this day, so I'm just going to give up and I'm just going to sit for 3 months. Because the goal isn't necessarily the promotion. Of course, those are great. Yes, run after them. Go after that bonus. It's yours. Why not? Why not you? Absolutely do that stuff. It's life-changing. That's why you joined this business. But you need to focus on who you're going to become along the way. Or you're going to get defeated, you're going to feel discouraged, and you're going to be really hyper-focused on the things that do or don't happen, the volume that is or isn't there, the customers that turned off their auto shipment or turned it back on, the distributors that said yes to the ones that said no, the ones who quit and the ones that stayed. It's just going to be way too hyper-focused on the details, when if you just become a better person and teach other people how to be a good friend and be a good friend to other people, you're going to get where you want to be, but you're going to become so much better along the way. You get both. Go for being a better person and you get the goal. Go for the goal and you miss it all because you're not becoming a better person, and that's what it's going to take to get you to the next level. So that is all I have to share with you. I hope that it made sense. I'm going to definitely drink some hot tea and some water. Been talking for an hour and a half straight. I love y'all so much, and I hope that this was helpful for you. I'm going to stop the recording.